how's it going? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the show. Hopefully everything's running correctly at our 1000 bit rate. Boy, oh boy, we got some low bit rate up in here, but let me know in the comments that everything's going good while I just do the quick here we go. Make sure that everything is going good. Yep, all right. On. Boom. All right. You guys are great. Save. DJ. Yo, what's up, DJ and Dougie? There we go. Okay, it sounds like it at least is working. So we got some I'm all fancied out because I had a job interview today. You know, the job interview hexo over here. Now I can, no financial advice here, boys. None taken. Can't come and get financial advice from this doctor. Damn, Daniel, sounds great. Good. Let me get the chat over here. More bullish sentiment in the community this week. Yeah, bullish sentiment and down in price. So always good to see. Love the sentiment that it goes bullish and then we go straight down. Dapper, yes, very dapper. Look like an old Englishman. I am job. Oh, I'm getting a job? Okay, I guess I'm getting you. No, you're great. Okay, yo, heyo, Hexo, do you think Gloria is still on the table? Yeah, Gloria, definitely. You just got to go to the local truck stop, look for the hole that's in the stall and go straight for it. You'll catch somebody there soon. I always do the opposite of what the mainstream is pushing. Silver in the hand, now more important than ever. Okay, yeah, I mean, silver has been a play for a long time, right? But I'm okay with it. I like, I like cryptos. I like gold. I like it all. Okay, exactly. Do what the mainstream is doing, or the exact opposite. I'm okay with that. How's the butt doing, dude? I'm having a rough day. If I'm gonna be quite honest with you, it's having a rough day. Okay, not a fun assignment that I've had the last couple of days. But we're gonna take a look at the lawyer thing and some other stuff. There's not much going on today. Why is JD Vance so doing the Hexo show? Yeah. Hello, fellow Americans. Welcome to the Hexo show. I'm JD Vance, and I would like to get you involved in great cryptocurrency. How's the? Let's see. Do you have any of those thumbnails, Dave Chappelle? Yeah. Do you have any more of those thumbnails? I know. I need to do a thumbnail for this. What about the spokes? Diddy party, no joke. Yeah. It blew me out. By the way, you want to hear something funny? Speaking of Diddy party, the doctors, they woke me up out of my when I came out of anesthesia, and they're like, "How are you feeling? How you feeling, old Hexo?" And I was like, "Man, I feel like I just went through an entire Diddy party." And literally the crowd was silent. Nobody laughed. Nobody said anything. I'm over here anesthesiaed out making jokes and nobody thought it was funny. So I did hit them with the Diddy joke, but they didn't think it was that funny. I don't know. I thought it was quite a humorous joke. I even said it twice to the next doctor. Nothing. Hey, Hex Kong, thank you for the $10 Hex Bunga. Stay strong. Yeah, smash the likes. Thank you for the $2 more lube. Yeah, they should have applied a little bit extra there. Hey, Axel, good to see you. I'm not going to read the rest, but what's up, Troy? Yeah, so all right, let's get on to the thing that you guys came here to see, the great price appreciation in the Hex community. We're up 4% on Pulse, or 2%. 4.6, 5.5% on PulseX, incentive token 7.49, and Hex down 3.9. So where do you think all the money is coming from? Well, it's not new money. It's probably just going from Hex to these other things. Okay, that's what I'm seeing right here, right now. But your T-shirt, boys, $486 for a T-shirt. That's pretty good, or $98. And actually, you can cut this by a third if you just stake it for 10 years. Not that you have to, but I'm just telling you, if you want to only stake, if you stake it for 10 years, you can get a third of that. So what is that, like $150? 300, well, a little bit more, 175, something like that. So $175 for a T-shirt right now, if you're staking for 10 years, and like $30, $33 over on HEX. But staking for 10 years on HEX, good luck. That you're doing that on your own. Not that I don't like HEX. Protocol works the exact same. Great protocol. But staking fees, I don't know, man. I don't know. Nurse didn't think it was funny when I woke up from knee surgery and asked if if the peg leg surgery went well. yeah. I don't know. Most nurses that I know are pretty humorous. So I don't know. It was a tough crowd. All right, Bitcoin doing what it's doing. Let's see, $94,721, ETH $3,200, and Cardano and XRP. This is the Hex community selling off right there. By the way, the law firm that Richard is using, Trump just announced that William Burke, who is the global co-chair of Quinn Emanuel LLP, which is the same lawyers, these trial lawyers that Richard Hart is using for the SEC, is going to serve on Trump Organization outside ethics advisor during his Eric Trump's term of the 47th president. So the same lawyers that are working on Richard Hart's case, that worked on Elon's case, guess what? They're working on, or the same lawyers that are working with Trump and Elon's case are working with Richard Hart, which is pretty crazy. So you can see how high end these lawyers are. Makes me feel a little bit better at night. Hopefully I can make you guys a little bit better too. But I guess it's this William A. Burke. If you want to read all of that, go ahead. That's him. And I guess he's going to work for Trump now. Cool. And he's got his V card up here. I don't know if that's something you want to be showing everybody. Is that you still got a V card at like 50 years old. But you do what you're going to do. All right. Actually, Nuclear Herbs put out this. Apparently, he was talking about it earlier at the conference, but he posted it. The Morrison Cohen cryptocurrency litigation tracker. This is from October of 2024. So you can see all of the. I'm guessing this is every single cryptocurrency that's ever been dealt with, all the way back from 2021, 2020, maybe further, 2019. Oh, it doesn't go in order. I thought it would be in order. All the way back to 2018. I wonder how far back this goes. Maybe it's all of them, every single case. How many pages is this? 100 and something, 130? So you can go up here, and there are cases that you can actually see that it looks like the SEC is getting sued by other people. Like there's the people filing against the SEC, which I think is pretty funny. Let me see we can find any of these. CFTC looks like this one. CFTC. Let's see. Damn, Trump lawyer for RH crazy. Yeah, what up, Hexo and Hex Malusha? What's up, Identity Block? Do you think RH watches your stream and laughs? I hope he does. Well, I don't know if he does, but that'd be great. That'd be amazing if he did. Hopefully he's hitting a like and the thumbs up. Yeah. Too soon for a Diddy Lube joke? Yeah, maybe it was just too soon. Maybe that was the whole thing. Maybe. Hopefully I wasn't, cracking jokes back there on anesthesia and I just don't know what I was saying. Now that would be embarrassing. When you wake up and they're just like, this guy's been on a roll. He won't stop talking. He thinks he's hilarious. Back there just talking up a storm like, oh, this is exactly like Diddy's party last night. That's the first thing that I remember coming out of the anesthesia, and it wasn't funny, or they didn't think it was funny. So, maybe I had been going off on the Diddy jokes a little bit too much. Good evening. Hey, Hexo, what can F with today? Pretty mild clickbait today. Yeah, pretty mild clickbait. No, Richard Hart's arrested. Now what? At some point, I was going to do the Richard Hart case dismissed. Now what? But, as much backlash as I got the other day, I was like, I'm going to keep it extremely mild from now on. After anesthesia, people are delirious. They think they are speaking coherently, but it's just garbled speech. So doctors and nurses don't laugh. True story. Okay. Well, I thought it was funny. Okay. Yeah, more fun on Hexo stream than Happy Hour with Cabana, which is still fun, but I like Hexo's better. Well, thanks. Yeah, is that going on right now? I wonder if Richard laughed at the Motown Richard song. It was pretty funny. Yeah, we'll have to check it out in a little bit. Hex Famous. Chuckles sends his regards. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We are going to check out the lawyer thing. I told you guys that we were going to check out the Bitcoin lawyer law. So let's go ahead and check it. I know you guys can't hear it. Hold on. We are going to check this out because I've been promising and people have been asking, can we please watch it together? And we will watch it. So let me make sure that it, I actually downloaded it. And it's still the highest that you could get it, even when you go and watch it on their video, is 360p. Yeah, like literally worse than something that you'd see on your CRT TV back in the day. That sounds like what Tone Vays is all about, you know, that 360p. Let's see. Richard left at the Motown. Okay, let's see.
That is the Bitcoin Law Review. It's been, I can't believe it's been since August, the last time we aired this show.
Right.
You know, text in it. He's saying things.
Whether this somebody,
So a little bit of context here. Richard Hart started HEX on December 1st or December 2nd. He released it. There was like a little bit of technical problems because they were going to release it at like 6 p.m. my time, and it didn't get released until like 9 p.m. I think that night. But I think this was the same night, I believe. It might not have been. It might have been the next day, but Richard was not had not slept when he got on here. Apparently he was up for 48 hours. He said he was shaking, literally shaking, you know, BitBoy shaking. And hope you're feeling great, Hexo. On X, Ben Sierra Pro wants tips and pointers on engaging with other communities and debating on their thing versus our things. What advice do you have for Ben? I don't know, man. Do I look like the guy that's debating other people? I don't know. I don't really debate anybody else. I just say how good our thing is, right? I'm not sure. Just try to interact with them. I mean, that would be great if we could talk to other people. I think that it's a great idea. Go into other communities and start talking. It's kind of like what I said with the conferences. Why are we paying for conferences that cost $400 when you could pay $420 to go to a Bitcoin conference? And then guess what? The world is your oyster there. Guess what? You know, there's 1,000 people at the Bitcoin conference or outside the Bitcoin conference that you can go and talk to. You can do whatever you want with your money. You're a big boy. But if we're talking about shilling, that's my biggest takeaway is actually just going and talking to new people. Missed the days when Vays was getting backhanded of X streams by Arch. Yeah, he deleted us all, blocked us all, right? Vay is such a, yeah, he is the artard. All right. Yeah, get your popcorn ready.
Explicit in what Tone's listing here is at some point in time, there's going to be an exchange where you can off-ramp your HEX into some other currency.
That's right.
Oh, geez. Almost like how every single thing is.
Right. It's in the FAQ on the hex.win, I think, website. And so who is going to be the buyer of HEX? Right? Why is anybody going to buy some HEX on an exchange when you can stake your Bitcoin? I understand that's for a limited period of time. I just don't see a market for this. And
wait, let me correct you. You're not staking your Bitcoin. I think you're just using proof of your Bitcoin to get HEX.
I think it's 10,000 per Bitcoin.
Right.
Or you can buy HEX with Ethereum, and then you can stake your HEX and get these so the rates of return that are being talked about here are in HEX, right? And so, as I said, I can give you 1,000% rate of return on my pile of sand, but who is the third-party buyer for these HEX tokens?
Right, but somebody will be, right? Because Richard's expertise from his prior life of what as Chris DeRose referred to as the spam king of Panama, and there is an interview from Chris DeRose on his old channel. There's also
I don't think I've ever seen this
myself one. And Chris DeRose discussing this.
Maybe we should take a look at it someday.
Maybe that's this isn't on the record. This is my video where we discuss this as well. And the other thing is here, this is, so Bill, I said the same exact thing 2.5 years ago. What idiot in their right mind would ever buy the Steam token? The garbage money that Dan Larimer and Ned Scott were just creating out of thin air to pay people for their articles on Steam, mostly to promote Steam. And that's
okay. So, you know, like they're hating on Steam, which maybe is a bad project, but hey, it was innovative at the time, right? I never used Steam, but apparently if you posted on Steam, you could get their cryptocurrency called Steam, and that's how you generated more. I mean, dude, it's pretty much how Twitter is right now. If you have the badge, you can get paid out in US dollar now instead of a coin, but it's like they tied a coin to it, right? I don't see the hate on it. Yeah, it didn't turn out and didn't work out, but it's like these guys that say, oh, they were just they're printing money out of thin air. It's like, okay, what does Bitcoin do? It literally is mining Bitcoin out of thin air. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Bitcoin mined not only out of thin air? Yes, you have to use electricity to do it, but where does the money come from? Some people will say, oh, well, it's the electricity. Okay, well, in HEX, guess what? It's the time, right? What's more valuable to you? If you're 80 years old, what's more valuable to you? Time or the electricity that you have? I don't know. Maybe it depends on if you're on life support. Probably time, right? Maybe you'd go back 20 years. If you were like 80 years old and you're like, I want to go back 20 years, but I have to have 10 years of no electricity. I'd bet you'd do it. Maybe you would. Just throw your money out the window. Maybe some of it will blow back in. Yeah. What up, Vlacaroni? So how can we go viral without spreading the news that HEX is Bitcoin 2.0? Better than 401k, better than a savings account, short TikToks, short music video. What do you say? Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of ways, right? We've got many people. I mean, we've got the ideas out there. The thing is there's top people that don't, like I stream. That's what I like to do. If you like to make TikToks, make TikToks. Chop this up, make a TikTok of it. I don't care. If you monetize it yourself, make a YouTube video, chop my stuff up, and you can make the dollary due, the 50 cents that you get from it. Whatever, I don't care. As long as you're not just taking the entire thing and just putting it on your channel, right? At least chop it up and do something there. But yeah, I mean, that's probably the best way. The guerrilla marketing, as much as people like Charles Hoskinson hate it, it works. It works. That's why, guess what? They're still talking about us 5 years after release. Cardano is wrecked, even if they're in the top 10 or whatever. It's not like they don't have as much volume as Pulsechain does. Now, is the price going great? Sure. It's doing a lot better than Pulsechain. I'll give them that. But, we are a completely decentralized ecosystem and a community where we have to go out there. We're a guerrilla marketing, grassroots type of community where we have to do the work ourselves. There's nobody paying me to do this. There's nobody paying you to do this. And the more people we have chopping things up like this stream or Cabana's stream, like you said, if he's streaming, or the conference or any of these, the better, right? So I don't have enough time to go through all of my stream and just start chopping it up and look over, oh, well, he talked about this at this short period of time, and this is what he said right here. But there are people out there that, watch these and download my video. Yeah, I think I even have a Creative Commons attribute on my thing to where you can download the entire thing and, like I said, copy it pretty much with just, with your own graphics or whatever you're gonna do. So there's no I can't come back and be like, strike, you get a strike, and most people in the HEX community should do that. I don't know if they know how to, but yeah, I mean, that's the best ways to. Our guerrilla marketing has been working for a long time, and I don't see why we should stop. And I think that it's like our biggest play. It's our forte, right? Like, if you go into the comments of almost nearly any comment section, you get a hexagon in there. It's weird. I click in Twitter and it could be an Elon Musk post. I get like 3 hexagons in there. If I click on something and it's like some Trump post, I get like 2 hexagons in there. If I get some, it's what I mean. So that's just getting our name out there. Brand recognition. I think brand recognition is huge. It's one of the reasons why I don't give up my HEX badge, because brand recognition is actually way bigger, because it's like Nike. and McDonald's. People that are not in like in downtown London or downtown Los Angeles, these tribal people that live in the Philippines or whatever, they know what McDonald's is. You know why? Or they know what Nike is, because brand recognition. Everybody knows the brand, and they've seen the brand so often, and they've seen people either wearing it, wearing it or eating at it or a commercial or whatever, that you can pick out a Nike sign from a mile away. You can pick out McDonald's sign from a mile away. That is what HEX needs to do. It might, and I don't think that we're failing at that point. That's one of the things that I think is one of our strongest selling points, is the brand recognition that we actually have, because everybody knows what the HEX logo looks like. I don't think it's as big for Pulsechain, but for HEX in the crypto community, everybody knows what HEX is. Everybody knows what Pulsechain is. We just have to, and this takes time. I think we have to garner a little bit more trust and a little bit more like legitness, right? And that just takes time. That's going to take time after the SEC hearing is either dismissed, partially dismissed, either it goes to trial and it gets Richard Hart wins in the trial. That's how we garner the trust. A lot of the trust has been, I wouldn't say broken, but the people that got in at 40 cents, they know what HEX is. This is the thing. They know what HEX is, right? So there is that. It's always, they know what it is already. We don't need to tell them what HEX is. When it goes back up to 40 cents, they'll be watching. They're going to watch it no matter what. But guess what? When it goes to 10, 30, 40 cents, they're going to be watching again. So brand recognition is the biggest thing I think that we can do right now, even when the prices are down. And then when they go up, everybody knows about us and they recognize our brand. We got this. Keep going. Yeah. Gorilla, not gorilla. Yes. Yeah. Takes green candles. We already got 5 years running. Exactly. Yeah. We just need the green candles, honestly. And the brand recognition it'll play out, right? It's right now it's trying to get as much, publicity and eyes on it as we can. And then when the green candles come, guess what? People will run over. It's just like Solana. Nobody knew what it was. I barely knew what it was in 2021, but now it's like a household name, maybe. Right? Well, it's about time you put a tie on. Yeah. Oh, is that how we're gonna? I had a job interview today, but yeah, we can say that old Hex was putting on ties again. All right, let's keep listening.
Actually created at a ridiculous rate, giving out to anyone with a pulse to write articles on this most centralized website in the world. And yet there was a market, and still is a market, to buy this pile of steam.
Okay, I get it. I like his joke there. Pile of steam. The thing that like Tone Vays and a lot of these guys don't realize is that Bitcoin isn't always what people like. People realize when it's $10,000 Bitcoin, they can't get an entire Bitcoin. I mean, it was one of the reasons why HEX was marketed as like you can get and I think, and don't nail me to the crucifix here, but I think that when Pulsechain came out, I think we gave out too many Pulsechain, because having a billion of something is almost too much. I think that having a million, like what HEX did, was like the perfect amount, because like you can get 200,000, you can get 100,000, you can get 10,000 right now, even when the prices are wherever. 10,000 HEX at 50 cents is worth $5,000. It's easy to kind of get your mind around. A billion Pulsechain, you kind of got to do the math at that point, right? And same with Bitcoin, where it's like, how many Satoshis do you want, not how many Bitcoin do you want? Because most people can't afford one Bitcoin at this point, $98,000 or whatever it's at. So for me, the making and Pulsechain right now, you can get a billion of it, but when we start going up, maybe a million is what people try to really hone in on. But I like how HEX kind of did you can get a million of them right here. All right.
Creating the market, right? So here you have an inflation rate of, and I think it was like 5%, 4.6 something percent per year of HEX. And that's where the staking rewards come in. And if you're,
They don't even know what Pirate Bay is. Pirate Bay? Dude, this guy is about to get scammed. He's about to be scammed because he was going to Pirate Bay instead of Pirate Bay. What a moron. Because this is the thing. On day one of the adoption amplifier, Pirate Bay actually had a referral link on their on their main homepage on piratebay.org, I guess.
stakes, you get it all, which means
Let's
you
see
get,
him.
you know,
Let's
these,
see him get
that's where
scammed.
he's getting
Oh,
these
geez.
18,000, 10,000% annual returns based on the most.
He almost, dude, that thing was gonna have him download an extension. Look, by clicking the button below, you'll be redirected to the Chrome store and be given the option to either install Web Safety extension or skip directly to your destination. This extension will offer you a something web search experience. Oh my gosh, this guy is like the you know, the grandma that you went over to her house when you were a kid, and you opened up her browser and she's got 12 Yahoo search bars, and you're like, Grandma, were you, you know, and then you leave and she's like, Hexel ruined my computer. He took all the search off there. I can't believe he took all the searches off there. Now I can't get anything off of this computer. He messed up my computer. It's like, Grandma, I actually just deleted all the Yahoo search bars. No. Is this where Unwrecked Pyrite got his name? Yeah, maybe.
Stakes, you get it all, which means you get, you know, these, that's where he's getting these 18,000, 10,000% annual returns based on the most.
Skip what?
Unsupportable assumptions, right? But
But
again, who's the marginal buyer? You need to think about asset marketplaces here and what creates a demand for an asset, and that is a third-party market of liquidity. And I don't see liquidity coming to this space.
So there you go. He's highlighting that Pirate Bay put the HEX logo on the website for the day to click their referral link, which I thought that was completely awesome, right? Like, I don't pirate, but I mean, geez, that's pretty awesome.
The founders who now have the vast pool of Ethereum, which they can use to purchase HEX from themselves and create a market where a market otherwise would not exist. So I think that people that are buying this,
Bill, not to
very close eye on the Ethereum
DC
address
slow
to
AF?
which these Ethereum are being contributed in exchange for HEX, and so that we can do some follow the transaction trail of whether this Ethereum is being used to create a market instead of having real price discovery for this asset, because I don't see a real process of price discovery outside of that scenario.
So one of the strategies that I've seen.
So I have no idea what that guy's saying. He's saying that like the Ethereum was going to pump the bags, I'm guessing, and like they were kind of insinuating what was going to happen with the recycling, but the recycling was actually just setting the price floor, I guess, or not, like it was going exactly to the point where on the actual market where it was at. So if there was, you know, if it was worth 100 Ethereum that day, then there was 100 Ethereum in the AA. So it was exactly the same market. So these guys are just kind of like, there's no market for it, and this guy's going to pump the market, and that's this problem. He's going to do all this. It's like, dude, okay, there's no market.
At least technologically, where new coins emerge is creating their own DEX, their own decentralized exchange in order to launch their own coin. Right. Is the strategy, because they can't get it on another exchange. And then unfortunately, there's the use of bot trading inherent within that DEX in order to pump up the volume, in order to make that exchange's volume be more attractive as an argument to get on other larger exchanges and distribution. I know we're shocked that there's market manipulation on cryptocurrency exchanges, right? So what you just talked about is what the strategy here, if Hex is ever going to
Yeah,
do
I
anything,
can see I can
would
see it,
be
Coin Critic.
the market that it ends up going on is most likely going to be sponsored by the guy that created it, or some subgroup, or some, you know, wholly owned subsidiary that's a shell entity that creates a website. It's not going to be on US soil. It'll be overseas somewhere.
Ah, see, you hear what he said right there? The shell company is going to take all of this and start a centralized exchange and bring up at a centralized exchange. And it's going to be a shell company that's not going to be on US soil. I mean, this is one thing that I've been saying for the last couple of days, where people think that, you know, Richard Hart owns these keys and does all of this. What if it's a company that's not on US soil, that they have no jurisdiction over, and it's like somewhere in Belize, where, you know, cryptocurrency, you don't have to pay your cryptocurrency taxes and such, and it's not to Richard Hart at all. You know, they're trying to say that he's committed fraud by spending this money, and it's like, maybe he's paid all of his taxes from the money he got from, you know, this business, and he has business people or people that he works for, and who knows, right? We have no idea who owns the Ethereum that we gave for the adoption amplifier or for the pulse chain sacrifice.
Trading, pump up the mix, and then try to get some interest in the coin.
And they'll probably be very successful because of Richard's background. Like, he's one of the main people responsible for all those Viagra spam emails in 2005. There's like a Reddit post that links to some of his, you know, text in it. He's saying things like, "My name is Richard, a different last name. I'm a 23-year-old multimillionaire. I'm inviting you to learn how to spam millions of people like I do. I used to work for USA Prescriptions. Now I operate my own online pharmacy business, blah, blah, blah."
Can you share that to Tone so he can see that as well?
Sasha,
I just put it in Telegram.
The one? Can I share that? It's a Google Doc.
I mean, it's out on the internet already. It says his last name is different than Hart, but it's already public.
Oh, I know, but I wasn't sure if I could share this, but there you guys go.
Yeah.
All right, there's the Richard Hart spam.
So
So this is the big spam back in the day of Richard Hart spamming people, which in my opinion was one of those things where it's like, okay, so he knows how to use the internet, and he was one of the first people to be prosecuted for spam. That's okay. 20 years ago or something like that. Okay. Like, so he knows how to do social or like media marketing pretty well. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. The lawyer guy, that is. Insert meme. Everything you just said is wrong. Yeah. Exactly. And it wasn't just the OA. There were other arbiters doing it. Yeah, I mean, there was plenty of people doing it, and we were doing it out of our own free will, right? There's plenty of people that were giving. I mean, look at the HEX NASCAR. From what I saw, it was mostly people like me and you that was just giving $5,000, $10,000 to something that they enjoyed, that they wanted to get the word out there. I don't see how that's illegal. If people started with the end in mind, they wouldn't have such difficulties understanding HEX. The end product is one with no middlemen. They don't understand the value of no middleman goal of Bitcoin. Exactly. And you would think that a bunch of Bitcoin maxis would understand it, right? You would like, they just don't like that Richard Hart created something new that
just look at our troll box today. It's way different than our normal one. It's like the Ripple trolls, but they're, you know, they're HEX trolls, and it's like that, you know, they're obviously paid to be here, like making all these ridiculous comments.
By the way, don't, you know, Sasha is actually somebody that's cool with the HEX community now. So don't, you know, this was 5 years ago. She thought we were all paid to be here or be there. Turns out, guess what? Nope, we're all just a bunch of weirdos that like the thing. And they always attribute that what they don't know is, oh, it's got to be bots. It's bots. It's paid for shills, or it's somebody that just has money invested in it. They want it to do well. Like that's, you know, like back in the day, I thought there was like shills for things. And then when I came into this community, I was like, oh no, it's actually a bunch of real people that just want their thing to actually do really well. So I don't see I don't see many bots out there. Now, on some of the Twitter posts where they're like, vote for this, yeah, you can bot the crap out of that. But people in the comments very rarely are bots. Where's my money? I don't know.
life-changing investment and all this.
No,
And
you-
it's
What up,
just,
Hex? What's up,
you know,
You don't
this
understand. They
weird
always make the
internet-
ridiculous comments about me, Sasha. Those guys are still here. Right?
Yeah. They're always there though, Jason.
They just don't like that I speak truth. Bill and I were talking about that earlier. Yeah.
But
Did Sasha-
he's like
I don't know if
he
she
has
looked
all
into
these
more of
fake
it. I think she
identities.
did,
He's
probably.
involved, you know, apparently. I don't know, Richard. I liked what he recently did when he called out Craig Wright, but other than that, you know, I just saw the initial stuff about him being a scammer, and I just kind of haven't followed it.
I do recommend people go back, and I do have this Krista Rose video.
We'll
in the
have to
video
watch this.
description. I also have my my interview with Krista Rose about Richard Hart that took place.
Richard tweeted underneath, I thought our interview was Thursday. I wanted to do it before Doug Polk's on the same day. This is fun to watch, though. LOL. Okay.
February of 2018.
We'll have to watch it.
So,
'Cause I've never seen- I don't think I've ever seen
over
it.
a year ago now. Wow, it's almost 2 years.
I'm a bot. Me
ago
too,
this
man.
took
Me too.
place. This is from September 2017, for God's sakes. Jesus. So this is over 2 years old now. So, you know, the story of Richard Hart being a scammer from the old days has been out there for a really long time, and people continue to just buy into his bullshit.
By the way, nobody cared that he was a spam king when they were shilling Bitcoin, when he was shilling Bitcoin only. It would only started to be a big problem when he had created his own coin, by the way.
Well, and if you read, I mean, I would go to the actual website. It's hex.win, and the explanation for this
Spammer to
the purpose of
scammer.
this token and its value proposition is just not clearly explained. You know, this seems to be very close to BitConnect from my perspective.
He doesn't know how it works.
I mean, what more do we need? He already went on with Tone and said this is like a Ponzi.
Well, no. In his defense, I'm gonna defend.
I'm with Jason here. I
in
know what he's
there.
going to say.
So what he said is, in order to get people interested in it, you have to market it like
Right.
it's a Ponzi. And unfortunately, based on the shit that he's been saying, and I'm going to say shit that he's been saying, he's crossed into that expectation of profit category a long time ago. And based
right.
on some of the stuff that he's saying, at 10, was it 10,000x return? The SEC and any other financial regulatory agency is going to look at that and say that is clear fraud.
Right.
That it's clear fraud.
Because they don't read all of it, right? Designed. They're missing the designed to do over 10,000x. Things can be designed to do that, right? That's where Richard was very adamant about saying it's designed to do that. Will it do that? Who knows? And words actually mean something, is what I took from what Richard said. Words actually mean something, right? Like if you're going to say something, you have to be very careful with your words. You have to be very careful with what you're going to say. And when you say designed to do a 10,000x, it's different than it's going to do a 10,000x, right? The outrage marketing didn't go down well. Well, again, the outrage marketing may have done its job. Maybe he did it for a reason. It sounds like you're still talking about it. So it seems like, we still see lots and lots of people still talking about it. It may have been there to bait the SEC into giving him a notice. And it could have all been, you think that Richard Hart didn't know that he would piss government agencies off with doing it? Do you think he's that dumb? Like, people really think that Richard's that dumb? It's same with the tax evasion thing. Do you think Richard's dumb enough to not pay his taxes? Because then you're just in the wrong coin. Because I think that, Richard is extremely smart. And on his last video, we're into Christmas, he said he's bulletproof and that he's thought about these things and he's, 10 steps ahead of what he's doing. These aren't new things that he's just like, oh, crap, I should have thought about putting design to do a 10,000x instead of, nothing. He did it. You don't think he has lawyers and stuff? Hey, Hex, calling him for $2. Maybe only delayed gratification reap rewards. True. Plus, it did do a 10,000x going forward. True. That is true. RH said he's been preparing this for his whole life. Exactly. Exactly. So you don't think that he's taken all the precautions of running things through a lawyer? I mean, before Hex was even released, I know for a fact that it got it got audits, 3 audits, and it got lawyers letters that said it was not a security, the way that it was developed. So RH plays 5D chess. True. All right, let's keep going. We're not going to watch this whole thing today. We're going to do an hour, so we got about 20 minutes left. I know we're not at Richard Hart's part yet, but I like to get some context of how these guys think before Richard Hart comes on there, because then it gets really good.
You can actually set that expectation that it's
well, you can make the profit in HEX.
That's why
that's
it's not
what
security.
I think is being missed, is that you can have a 10,000% return in HEX.
Yep.
There's actually, if you go to the website, there's hold on a second, because this is another real flashing red.
Well, this is the thing. BitConnect and Celsius, they paid you out in something that they cannot print. They cannot print more US dollar, right? That's what they were paying you out in, or the BCC token. I can't remember how BitConnect worked, because I was never in it. But pretty much what they were doing was they had to keep getting new people in to pay out the old people, right? That was how their entire thing just collapsed, because they just weren't getting enough new people in to pay out the old people. With HEX, you could be the only one left. And guess what? You could stake and you could still get HEX. Now, it might not be worth anything, but that's not what it was designed. It was designed to pay out HEX, and it does exactly what it does. It's supposed to do, I mean. Bitcoin does the same thing, right? We mine Bitcoin, and guess what? It gives you Bitcoin once you mine it. It's as easy as that. Bitcoin, or HEX and Bitcoin, are literally the exact same, just a different proof of work change, with a proof of work change. That's what they don't understand here.
Profit simulator. You see that right in the middle, Tone?
Oh,
I'm missing.
Sure. And this is part of the big.
Sorry, I gotta stop this really quick. The biggest thing for these guys is they just don't understand how HEX works. That's where they think that it is Celsius. They think that it is BitConnect, because they just don't understand how it works.
It's very clear that whoever created this and has developed this is either familiar with or a brilliant naturalist in Robert Cialdini's 7 concepts of influence, and is employing them in multiple ways here with this presentation. You've got scarcity, expiring timeframes, authority, liking, mirroring. There's all types of things that are happening here, including gifts, right? Reciprocity. You give me this, I'm going to give you 10,000 in return. We didn't even exchange anything, and he's given me an opportunity in order to make something. So, Tone and Sasha and Bill, if you right. So if you guys haven't read Cialdini, I'm going to post it in the troll box here.
I don't know who Cialdini is. Somebody hit me up. I thought he was saying Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World, but I've never read Cialdini. Sounds like a good read.
So that others can read it as well.
Oh, it's better for the environment. Why? Because it's not proof of work.
Yeah.
I am so sick of that argument that DPoS or anything else is environmentally friendly. Come on. Jesus Christ.
But it is. That's the thing.
More secure against inflation bugs than Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, there's just
what exactly is an inflation bug?
I think there's just a lot of word salad.
What? Okay, so these lawyers are not the Bitcoin, they're not the crypto geniuses. All right, what exactly is an inflation bug? Have you been in crypto? I mean, this is 2020 or whatever, when it was 2019. Do you not know what that an inflation bug can kill the entire coin if it has an inflation bug? How many coins have died from an inflation bug? What is an inflation bug? Crazy that they said that she would say, what is an inflation bug, and being in crypto.
And it's for the financially illiterate. is the best way I can put this. And I'm sorry if you think that you're going to make a ton of money off of this. You might for as long as you can get out before the price crashes, because we can expect that some people affiliated with launching this.
Guys, I gotta interrupt. Do you guys want Richard to join this call?
Absolutely. Bring him on.
So now they just go on about. We'll skip to the Richard because now they just kind of talk in circles for a little
day. The
All right, here we go.
I have to say, and then analyst here will ask you some questions.
All right, here we go.
Guys, I'm
Actually,
in the worst form I've been in years, and I'm still more than happy to have it.
I'm just gonna duck out now, but
Oh, Sasha, you gotta go.
Bye, Sasha.
yeah.
Bye, Sasha.
Look at Toad's
The
little
worst
wave.
form I've been in years, and I'm still more than happy to have it.
I'm just gonna duck out now, but
Oh, Sasha, you gotta go.
Bye, Sasha.
yeah.
Bye, Sasha.
Bye, Sasha.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye. All right. Richard, go ahead and try and explain HEX.
Sure.
And then we will have some Q&A.
Easy. You guys familiar with banks?
Not
You've
really.
ever had a bank account? You just want me to talk, or do you want to have a conversation?
Richard, just talk because you're speaking to somewhat intelligent people, right? So just talk to you.
Some more than others there. Some of these guys got degrees.
I'll be true.
So look, the Howey test tries to protect investors by getting them to not get robbed, and by getting disclosures that help them make good decisions, and by making it so that company directors have to follow certain rules, all in the idea that they're going to help defend these people's profit, right? I support all of that. I love all of that. I don't like scams. I don't like people getting ripped off. I don't like projects that should exist. I hate all that stuff, right? I retired at the age of 23, 24 by being a serial entrepreneur and understanding what good business looks like. I know what good business looks like. Most ICOs aren't good business. Most coins aren't good business, right? So I support the SEC. I like the outreach they did with their Howey ICO website. I don't think it was called Howey ICO. I think it had another word, another version of it, like Howey token or Howey coin or Howey something was an outreach website that the SEC did that I thought was great, because there's only 3 ways you can stop scams. 3 ways that you can stop scams. You can scream and yell at the regulators who are understaffed and have more cases than they can deal with. And so what's the only thing they can do? Over punish the one guy that they get, because they're not going to get everyone else, and hope it acts like an example.
I think Richard was foreshadowing here. Sounds like a little bit of foreshadowing. Coming after the one guy by going way overboard on him. And here we are, 5 years later, and really going after Richard Hart.
Right? And does it get anyone's money back after it's been stolen? No, the money's all gone, right? Maybe in the case of some ultra rich guy that didn't, lose it all, or like they got some back off Madoff. But in general, when people get scammed, they don't get the money back, right? So that doesn't work, right? Yelling at the regulators doesn't work. Tone and I yelled and said, don't invest in ICOs all through 2017. No one listened. Everyone put billions and billions of dollars in. Everyone got really, really rich. And then they dropped 95%. So if you shorted it, you got destroyed. And if you longed it, you got destroyed, but just later, right? So what else can you do to stop scams? We covered point 1, which is yell at the regulators, and they're understaffed and they don't get the money back even if they win. 2, you could yell at the people and beg them to not get scammed. And Tone did that, and I did that. And it will never, ever, ever work, because the asymmetry of bullshit. Every claim that these people make takes 1 unit of effort, and it takes 10 units of effort to disprove it. And I swear to God, the majority of the audience won't pay attention when you disprove it.
This is one of the reasons why I just don't talk about other coins, because it's way harder to disprove anything and just go into it deep and be like, well, this is why it doesn't work. And then you're promoting their coins, right? It's one of the best things that I learned from Richard, where it's just like, dude, just ignore it. If you ignore it, then guess what? It'll do its own thing without you promoting it. I mean, Charles Hoskinson, for one, we're dealing with this right now, where we guerrilla marketed it and, went under his comments and came in and really just, hey, Charles, you're lying about this. You're lying about this. Where he had to come out and make a 10-minute video about Richard Hart, about Hex, and about Pulsechain, which is great. I think we did amazing. We got our point across. Now he's blocking everybody because he lost. And it's like, he can't, one guy is not, and now he's just promoting our coin for us. It's great.
Phase them like it didn't happen, right? So what's the only other thing that could work? And this is the idea I came up with as a business person, as a marketing person that's done millions and millions of dollars of commerce with people happy to hand over their money, happy with the product they got. If you want these people to stop getting scammed by Ponzi schemes, you have to get their money out of their hands before they give it to the Ponzi scheme. It's really that simple. If you can't get the law enforcement guys to prevent it from happening, and you can't get them to stop it from happening, then you have to be like a bacteria and compete for the same resources that those things feed on.
Outrage marketing. Anybody remember that?
Because you're advertising in the same method that they're advertising. You're advertising a cryptocurrency, which is what they advertise, except theirs is fake. It doesn't actually exist. We've got real cryptocurrencies that do really exist and did really go from 15 cents to $1,500 in 2.5 years if you traded on Kraken. If you bought at the ICO price instead, you only got a 4,300 return because it didn't wick down. These are real numbers I'm quoting you. I quote you 10,000% on the website because it's a possible thing that can happen. And you guys leave it out and cut it out that I say, I have absolutely no idea what the price will do. And neither does you, neither does anyone. No one has any idea what the price will do. But I can tell you it's possible. And I can tell you that things that are possible are more likely when you have things that have these properties, right? So we have this investment class of things called cryptocurrencies. And right now, Bitcoin today is up 700,000%. No, 700,000x over a penny. That's 7 million%. And it was up 2 million% 2 years ago. And I quote you a number that's like 200 or 2,000 times smaller, and you gawk at it and you laugh at it like it's not possible. You guys just don't read the charts.
Yep.
You read the charts, you measure the price increase, and you understand what's possible.
Tone, hold on. Tone, we went through a whole series of arguments of why HEX was a scam and why this doesn't look like a good thing and where there's no economic theory behind it.
Right. None.
Richard's.
I'm going to disprove every point you have. All of them.
I can tell he's a little bit upset and he wants an opportunity to talk. So let's let him talk.
I think this is a great conversation. I'm speaking to two lawyers about the law. You guys are subject matter experts. I might learn something. I like this. This is not Rickard. This is not me being angry. This is me being 48 hours awake. Like I'm literally just shaking while I'm sitting still.
Literally
like
shaking right now, boys.
And not
literally shaking.
From
Richard is killing him. It's great, dude. It's
like
great.
I hear my breath like going in and out weird. I really shouldn't be live streaming, but I heard you guys say so many things that just they're not truthful, and I want to educate you and let people know what the truth is.
Sure.
Right? So let's and look, it's not because you guys are bad guys. It's because most things are shitty scams, and most people are scammers in the crypto space. And if you put up your shield and you just say, "Look, everything's a scam until proven otherwise," that's better. I support that. Right? That's good. But every once in a while, there's something that isn't actually a scam. And they're rare, but you have to take your head out of the sand and see them and recognize
our Ponzi
them,
is better than your Ponzi. Exactly.
Right?
Do you mind if Richard, I have a question for you.
I want him to explain. I want him to at least say what we said that was inaccurate. You're not, Richard, you haven't actually said anything yet about HEX.
Well, I'm trying to be nice and not just argue, right? Like my position here is I want everyone to get smarter and learn unique, awesome positions. If I wanted to screw with you guys, I could just say, I could start attacking you personally, but how does it benefit the audience, right?
No, Richard, go back to the beginning. The first thing that you wanted to do was you wanted to make a point of whether or not we had bank accounts. And I think where you were trying to go is that you're trying to make HEX, or you're advertising HEX is going to be like a certificate of deposit. Do I have that right?
I wouldn't say that's the right way to put it. So
explain that.
So if you believe that economies can be made more efficient by removing middlemen, and if you believe a building full of humans is less efficient than a piece of server hardware sitting there, then someone has to replace the banks that have bad hours and bad fees and gotcha capitalism and get fined for charging you for credit cards you never took, ordering your checks so that they overdraft the maximum amount possible.
So are you offering
You wanna
checks and credit cards and traditional banking services with HEX? Because you keep coming back to
No.
banks. I haven't seen any kind of banking services that HEX has provided.
If you
Other
want to
than maybe a
replace-
certificate of deposit, because don't you even refer to HEX as a certificate of deposit in your website? A CD.
It is.
right?
It is.
And
it is
people
referred
say
to as
that
the
Richard is
world's-
always attacking people. Exactly. He's always trying to have a conversation with them, and they're trying to attack his coin, right? Like, this is where we're at. And this is day one, right? They just keep getting meaner and meaner, where it's just like, dude, I don't think Richard is attacking anybody. He's usually pretty cordial, unless you're starting to like just go at him personally, like calling him a scammer, right? Or a spam king and stuff like that. That's when he's like, okay, this doesn't work at all. Richard likes high-end car stereo system. True. Oh man, the good old days, miss them. Yeah, they're still here, man. What if they are bad guys though? I mean, you can go look at their track records. I don't even know what Jason or this other guy, this lawyer, does anymore. But they prosecuted a lot. I know he is like a defense lawyer and a prosecutor as well for securities. So he does both of them. Oh, let's see. Richard is killing him. Yeah, Charles is blocking Hexkins because they are exposing him. Yeah, I mean that he deserves it, right? He deserves it.
chain CD.
Okay,
Yes.
explain that. How does that work?
Sure.
Not a checking account, not a
Right.
credit card. Let's focus in on the blockchain CD.
Right. So all a CD does, there's lots of products that have yield, right? But they don't restrict you to a time frame, and they don't pay you more if you lock to a longer time frame. So the reason that CDs exist and the reason that vesting periods in companies exist is because the time value of money exists. And if someone's willing to be deprived of their money for longer, then you reward them with more, right?
Okay, so I buy
Right.
your CD. I give you money for your CD.
That's not how that works. You can't buy
Okay.
my CD. You can only make
Okay.
your own CD. You run your own software. It has nothing to do with me.
Okay, who provides the software?
It's on the blockchain. You choose the contract address that you want to run.
But does your platform provide the
I don't have a
software that
platform.
does it? You don't?
I don't have
Okay,
a platform.
well, then what is HEX?
This guy is
So-
so clueless about how
Well,
blockchains work.
HEX
It's
is a
crazy.
domain name and a word to describe a piece of software that people may commonly choose to run the same version of, right?
By the way, this is what I'm saying when Richard chooses his words very, very wisely and precisely. This is a lawyer trying to attack what HEX is. And if it was me, I would have been like, HEX is a cryptocurrency. And he is very good at what he's saying right now, where it's like HEX is it describes what this, like I would be wrecked in this environment. Richard is just outstanding. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to actually watch this with you guys, because it is very like, it shows how intelligent Richard is and how much thought he actually put in the HEX cryptocurrency. And the further you watch this, the worse it gets for these lawyers. And it showed by the end, not Jason, but the other lawyer, he is like, oh, it really seems like he's like, oh, okay, I get it. You buy your CD, RH, no. Exactly. Another trap. Yes, they are trying to trap him left and right, trying to put words in his mouth, trying to say, oh, that well, you got to buy this, right? And he's like, no, you don't buy it. You use the blockchain to start your own CD. It's software. Exactly. Your platform, RH, no, it's a protocol. Exactly. Like they are trying to trap him in many ways. And he just, boom, deflects it. We lighting them candles in 15 months. Let's hope. Unless Finland has them. Yeah. Some question is Aunt Peggy, where does the blockchain live, Counselor? Yeah, exactly.
Well, HEX is a domain name and a word to describe a piece of software that people may commonly choose to run the same version of, right?
Look, I'm not trying to nail you down here. You're offering
you
to
are
give
specifically
people,
trying to nail me down. But
well, I'm trying to get you to be specific. Okay, if
I'm
give
being
you
specific in the way you don't
Ethereum,
like.
if I give you an
Mhm.
Ethereum,
You can't give me an Ethereum. You keep saying these presuppositions that don't make any sense. Let me
let's
just
go to your
you.
profit calculator, right? How the hell does that
Mhm.
work? And who gets the Ethereum?
Mhm.
That's what I want to know.
Let's
I
close some
wanna
threads.
Who owns the
We
Ethereum?
went to
I
we
put
did 2/3 of
Ethereum
how to
into
stop.
something, and all of a sudden I get magic HEX.
Can we wrap up some threads? I said there was three. Let's just close. We got 2 threads we left open, and then we'll do that one. I said there's 3 ways to stop scammers from happening. Yell at the regulators, it doesn't work.
Sure.
Yell at the people, it doesn't work. Or
deprive them of their money.
Eyeballs and money.
Can I put a link to this?
Or take their money from them.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Right.
Correct.
All right. Got it. And who takes the money?
And if the S&P 500, if a BlackRock or if some S&P 500 index fund took their money, that would be okay with you, right? Because it's better than losing it to a Ponzi scheme, right? And it's commonly
what I
looked
want
upon as like a.
What I want to hear is who is the fiduciary that is guarding the money when it's being deprived of them? And you haven't said that.
There's no fiduciary. Look, you're the guy that wanted to start his own blockchain church. Okay?
Oh yes,
you
it's
know
still
the
active.
loopholes, right?
It's still active.
You know the loopholes, and
we did a lot
angles.
of charitable work, and we've saved a
Right.
couple of lives, actually.
Sure, buddy.
Okay. So I could sit here and ask you about a bunch of silly questions, but we know what the game is. The game is this. So you guys as lawyers, I think you've screwed some things up as lawyers. Okay. So I'm going to tell you what you screwed up. You're looking at something that says that it's likely to make profit, and you're saying that that makes it a security. And that is not how securities work. How securities work.
Okay.
Go ahead, interrupt. Go ahead.
Well,
okay, I'll finish that.
Jay, let him talk.
Yeah. How securities work is the profit coming from the essential effort and entrepreneurial effort of an irreplaceable party? If it is, then I think it may have violated a leg of the Howey test. If you combine that with expectation, and you combine it with the other person doing no work, and you combine it with giving money to a common pool, sounds like you've got a security. So let's look at HEX, right? Let's look at the legs of the Howey test. Are people putting money into a pool? Well, if I had to go to court over it, I'd argue, well, this was, property and not money. And then they could argue that it's value. And then we could have a bunch of motions and shit, right?
Okay,
so let's skip that.
But pool, right? It doesn't have to.
JJ, I want him to finish. I want him to finish all parts of the Howey test and why HEX is not in violation of any of the 3.
I think most people say that there's 4, but lawyers, is it 3 or 4? How many legs are there?
They don't even know how many.
Schooling us on
Tone Vays doesn't even know how many legs there are.
Okay, so for the record, I asked 2 lawyers in Tone, the pseudo lawyer, a very simple question as to how many legs there were in the Howey test, and they deferred back to me because they couldn't answer it.
3. Tone Vays says 3.
Okay.
No, well, there's 4.
Okay. Thank you for having the balls to answer it. It is your profession. You should know it, right? I also know it because I read Wikipedia.
Oh,
right? And I read the
gosh.
Howey test, and I read a shitload of other legal documents about it to do
Go
the
ahead.
best I could
By
as
the
a human
way,
being to follow the law.
There you go. By the way, this is big, boys. This is the day that HEX launched. I just want let's repeat it so you guys can all go back to your, there's not very many people watching. So we'll, if you want to go back and cut this up, I think that this would be a great one to cut up because it's great and it was the day that HEX came out. Do you think that HEX is a security?
It's your profession. You should know it, right? I also know it because I read Wikipedia, right? And I read
Wait,
2 lawyers in Tone, the pseudo lawyer, a very simple question as to how many legs there were in the Howey test, and they deferred back to me because they couldn't answer it.
3. There's 3.
Okay.
No,
Well,
there's 4.
Okay. Thank you for having the balls to answer it. It is your profession. You should know it, right? I also know it because I read Wikipedia, right? And I read the Howey test, and I read a shitload of other legal documents about it to do the best I could as a human being to follow the law.
Follow the law.
I don't like people getting ripped off. I don't like people losing money. I want to help people not get ripped off. I want to replace inefficient systems with efficient systems. All right. So what are we doing? You run your own software. You mint your own coins. No one else can mint your coins for you, just like a Bitcoin miner. Bitcoin is not a security. Not. Clayton stands on stage and says, not a security. Other things that started as securities, like Ethereum, are also now magically not securities. Okay? And why is that? Because they're distributed, and actually, really, these are not writers of laws. These are not legislators. This is the executive branch that doesn't write law. They just enforce it. And they're making executive decisions, right? And if they don't like you, they could lean towards screwing you up and blow you out of the water and spending millions of dollars on defense. But if they do like you and think you're a nice guy, maybe they settle with you and let you off, easy, or don't bother you at all, right? Because they've got limited resources.
Cardona.
So EOS had a real security, and they settled for 0.5% of their raise. They settled for 24 million on a 4.2 billion raise. Other people have been annihilated, like Siacoin, right? Siacoin got annihilated. EOS got, off pretty easily, right? Why? Just because that's how it is. A different guy was prosecuting, and it just felt differently. Like that's how it is. You're not going to get the same results, everybody. So back to the Howey test. Profit is not a problem. Profit is not a problem. Houses go up in value. Are they securities? Usually not, because profit is not a problem. As a matter of fact, everything in this world goes up in value as long as they're printing the money all day long. As long as they're printing the money all day long and the value of the demand of your thing stays static, the price will continue to rise to make up for the extra supply of money, right?
United Housing
when you guys
says that anything can go up, or there can be an expectation of profit if it is intended for use, not for speculative investment. So your housing argument, to live in a house, no, that's not an investment contract. But if you buy a bunch of real estate, or you buy condos, or you buy REITs, that is an investment contract.
Well,
I just want to make sure.
The actual Howey test itself involved real estate and oranges. Like that was the original.
It involved rows.
Jason,
So
Jason, I want Richard to go through the 4 steps of the.
No, but he's not. He's just
Tone
bloviating
Vays.
about horse.
I know.
See, they get so mad. We're starting to look dumb here, guys. What should we say? Say something smart. Nah. Exactly. The mouth open. Just keep watching. It's priceless. Man, this was such a great yet frustrating stream. Well, I mean, it was great. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to show it to you guys, because some people out there think that Richard has taken no steps to stop any of this, right? Richard just got hit with the SEC. I mean, the outrage marketing. Somebody said, the outrage marketing earlier, that it was a bad look, right? Well, maybe he was trying to bait the SEC into coming after him because he wanted them to come after him. In my opinion, that's what the outrage marketing was there for. I don't think that Richard wanted to look like a goofball for a year. Maybe he did, but he could also bait the SEC in and come after him. Maybe not. Maybe he's just a dummy that we didn't, but in my opinion, again, I think that Richard Hart was one of these guys that was like, hey, how could we get the SEC to come after us, especially during the bear market, when we could, finish this out, get the SEC to, I'm guessing that they're probably already on his back. Somebody probably reported it, which we know that, what's his name? Something crypto. The Wise, the guy that made Wise, he was reporting Richard to the SEC during the first year. So he probably already had lawyers, coming at him and probing him for answers. And he's like, okay, how can we make them actually get some type of lawsuit against me now? Like, I want them to come after me, because after the SEC is gone, guess what? There's nothing really left for them to come after us with. They could say Richard Hart's a scammer all they want, but if the SEC has determined, or not the SEC, but if the government has determined that it wasn't in violation of the Howey test and that it's not a security, then guess what? We just continue, and we don't have that anymore. You can't call him a scammer just because you don't like his coin. Now it's like, oh, well, he didn't get in trouble with the SEC, so now what do we do? Well, now we just call him a scammer just because we think that it's a scam. That's all they have left is the SEC stuff. And when they got the SEC to litigate and to sue Richard Hart, now they're all up in arms. Yes, look at us. We told you guys so. 2022 was, when Richard was dancing like a fool, and 2023 is when we got the SEC notices or subpoenas and stuff. And I think that he baited him into doing it. Let's see. Oh, boy. Yeah. All right. Howey touches on real estate and orange groves. Lawyer. No. Yeah, I know. What's up, Maddie? Are you streaming right now? can you draw something going into Tone's mouth right now? Hot dog guy reported to the SEC. Well, I don't really think that it's the hot dog guy. I think that guy was like, he like sued Richard Hart in a small claims court or something like that. And then he said it was a security in the claim. And then it brought the attention to the SEC that, oh, it's a security because he put that in the claim there, I believe. Just brought Grumpy Wiener hot dog stand. Okay. All right. Just calling out eats trap. Very true. Furry tennis balls. All okay. Hex is not a real world asset. They would love to tie real estate to crypto, but it's not. It's a database entries stored in global cloud. Yeah, exactly. Coin critic. RH followers are the most educated on the planet. True. Because of Richard, right? Nobody knew what the Howey test was. Even Tone Vays didn't even know how many legs the Howey test had before. And he talks to these two dweeby lawyers all the time. I mean, he had a law review channel and he didn't even know I had 4 legs coming into this show. I didn't either, right? Before this show, I wouldn't have known either. I didn't even know what a security was before talking to these guys. I just invested it because I thought Richard Hart was intelligent enough to put something together that was amazing. Turns out I was right. And he did all of his due diligence and made sure it wasn't a security beforehand. Now, some people still think it's a security, but in my opinion, and you know, Richard plays it out pretty well here of why it's not a security. All right, let's see. Remember when RH said you wouldn't believe who sacrificed for Pulse DJT Jr. Maybe. I love the meltdown that Hoskinson is having right now. It's great. All right. Well, Maddie's show is started, so I don't want to stream over his. We will get back to this tomorrow. I know we only got 44 minutes into it. We will start it right from this exact point. I will write it down where we started, and we will go over it again tomorrow. It's a very good stream, so don't be watching it without little Hexo. Okay, you need Hexo's talent here to tell you exactly what it is. Now, actually, go and watch it yourself. It's a long one. Let's see. Let's see how long he goes. He goes for like, let's see, 3 hours. So this will be a longer video. But when we go, you know, we'll watch it together. And yeah, I'm not live, not streaming today. Oh, okay. Was there an expectation of profit if you bought Tone Vays a steak dinner? That probably not. If you're having dinner with that guy. Also, with new X rules, IOHK is hurting smaller accounts by blocking them. Hot Dog Guy is trying to do a class action against HEX in South Carolina. I'm helping the fight despite not being involved. Okay. Hot Dog Guy, Hot Diggity Dog. It's a brand new. Okay. Yeah. Wait, Hexo. All right. What's up, Sig Hex? Off to buy Cardano. Yeah. Let's go see if we pump the price at all. Nope. No pumpage in the price, at least in HEX. Got a little bit of pump in the pulse chain. But I mean, we'll look at this even more tomorrow. It's good to see that you know, we got there's plenty of stuff to show you how this is not a security before HEX was even started. This was day 1 of HEX. That's why I think it's so important to look at this, because when I watched it, I had no idea what a security was. Right? None of us really did. And now, like, I can't remember who said it in the chat, but that Hex, I think it was probably Coin Critic, but Hexicans and people that are people in this community are way more intelligent about what a security and securities law are because of Richard Hart, because he did the due diligence. We've looked in it ourselves. We made sure that you know, that HEX none of those legs of the Howey test were broken. So I thought you were going to continue with the lawyers. What? Oh, no, tomorrow we're going to check it out. I just only want to do an hour because then when they get too long, people just stop watching at, you know, hour 3. So since Maddie isn't streaming, yeah, I just don't want to make really long videos because there are people that complain. So we'll just do, you know, it's something to talk about. We have to do a daily stream. We have to have something to talk about, which I do at some point want to watch the satisfying downfall of Hawk Tua girl. Because that's a big one in the crypto space right now. So we'll watch that one after we get done with the crypto, or with the Richard Hart one. But that's all I got for you guys today. You guys are amazing. Hit the likes, hit the subscribes, follow me on Twitter if you're not already following. By the way, if you want to go and subscribe over on Twitter, then, you know, on the 15th, so in 5 days, we're going to put you on the picker wheel. All of the subscribers, I got 12 so far, these guys are going to put their names on the wheel. And then whoever gets picked on the wheel has little hexo. So I have 12 followers right now. So half of the money, so it's like $10 to subscribe. So it's half of that. So $60 is going to go into whatever coin they choose. So if they want me to get into Hex, guess what? We put $60 into Hex, and then we put it here on the stream so you guys can see how well it's doing every day. And but if you want me to get into some other coin, that's fine too. I'm not going to be promoting it, but if it goes up like 1,000x, then you can be everybody like, hey, look at Hexo made 100x off of his $60. Cool. That'd be awesome for everybody, right? You get a little bit of shill, and I get a little bit of banana peel. So you guys are great. We don't have ADHD. Yeah. Thanks, Hexo. Great content. Yeah. Thanks, man. Everybody hit the likes. I will see you guys tomorrow, and you guys have a great one. Pray for old little Hexo to get a good job. That's why I'm in the old suit, the penguin suit today. So I will see you guys tomorrow. You guys take care.